Mom, can you please come pick me up? I don't have ice in my veins. I'm not built different. You were right.
I'm not clutch.
I'm not clutch. I'm not about that life. I can't do it. We're good to go.
Yeah, we're good now.
Perfect. All right. What is up, you silly gambling geese? And welcome back to the Goose Egg Gambling Podcast, which the only podcast I can think of that's still defending the Kansas City Chiefs in 2021.
Well, half of us, but you know,
we'll get into it. I'm your host, Matt, aka No More Mr. Nice Guy, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Jerrod.
Always nice guy.
Always nice guy's good. I was gonna go with the Costco Camaro Usman.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
Definitely not Walmart version.
Definitely not the Walmart version. It's a bit of an inside joke from our Ohio weekend. I'm still a little loopy from it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I feel jet lagged all hell still. Even though it was an hour.
Yeah, like
difference.
we weren't even like flying that much, and like it was not that long of a trip, but we got delayed. We were part of the American Airlines delays, so we stayed in Cleveland an extra 2 days, which was fun. But yeah, my sleep schedule is all sorts of messed up right now.
It's good to sleep on a real mattress now, not an air mattress.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually my first time. I got my new apartment, so it was my first time sleeping in my bed the last 2 nights.
How's that been feeling?
It's been good. My back's a little stiff because any new mattress, I have to like break in a little bit. I'll go like jump on the bed or something tonight.
There you go.
It'll give me something to do during this awful Thursday night game.
Just an adult jumping on his bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to see here.
nothing wrong with that. Close the blinds.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, we got a big Thursday night game. But before we get into that, Jerrod, we have the most exciting news in this podcast's early history.
Yes.
We have an official sports betting partner, and it is the same official sports betting partner that the NFL has. We are proud to be brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Woohoo!
Let's go. An applause for everyone. So if you aren't aware, DraftKings is, like I said, the official sports betting partner of the NFL, and it's got you covered at any sort of bet you want to place. And we've even got a special offer for anyone who does want to like dive in the waters and place their first bet with DraftKings. Any new customer can use the promo code YouBetcha, bet just $5 on any NFL team to win, just a money line bet. And if they do win, you'll receive $200 worth of free bets.
Oh yeah,
which I absolutely love.
The freest of cheese.
That absolutely is free cheese. Just find some sort of easy money line this week, like I don't know, the Colts tonight or like the Rams on Sunday night or something like that. Just something you're super confident in. Play some money line. That's $200 right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can reinvest that then into trickier parlays, get a lot more advanced, pyramid scheme your way down. You're a millionaire.
You can buy groceries for the week.
You become a millionaire.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, if sports betting is legal in your state, you can do that. If it isn't, no problem. You can still use DraftKings to do daily fantasy sports and win huge cash prizes doing that.
Mm-hmm. So like if your fantasy team's taking a shit this year, you can just do this daily fantasy and you could win every week then.
Exactly. In one of my leagues, I'm 1-7. And I just don't even check it anymore just because there's no point. I believe you're 1-7 in our work league.
Yeah, we don't
not to throw you under the bus on the air right here,
keep that on the DL.
But yeah, so I'm actually going to look into doing daily fantasy for the first time ever this week. I've never done daily fantasy. Have you ever tried it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah, like I said, this year my team's taking a shit, so I'm all over daily fantasy now.
And so you do just like for the Thursday night game tonight, you would just pick like a roster of players.
Yeah, like whoever's on like a Carson Wentz or any Jets player, Mike White, and you're within a salary cap too. So and it's fun to compete just casually too. Yeah,
I'm gonna be doing that tonight because I put in my first deposit this morning using the promo code YouBetcha, and I'm just really excited to really give it a go. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity for me to win more money and flex my sports knowledge in some new way.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine it possibly goes wrong for me. I mean, I know Tyler downstairs has won a good amount of money his first few weeks doing it. Yeah, so if he can figure it out.
He loves DraftKings.
Yeah, if he can figure it out, I sure as hell can. He thinks the Grizzlies are going to win the NBA championship.
Yeah,
I sure as hell think I could do better than that.
You hope so.
If I can't, then that's a problem.
If he gets that right, I'll be so pissed.
I don't think you'd see me again if the Grizzlies won. If the Grizzlies like won NBA Finals like Game 5. My resignation comes at the same time that buzzer.
You would never shut up about it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I could be around him anymore. I would just have to lose the acquaintance. Sorry, Tyler, if you're listening. But so yeah, like we said, download the DraftKings Sportsbook now. Use the promo code YouBetcha at checkout. Bet $5 on any NFL team to win. And if they do, you'll win $200 in free bets. It's the freest of cheese, like my partner Jerrod said. You got to be 21 years or older to play in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only currently. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbooks. That's DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So, speaking of gambling, this slate of week 9 games, it's kind of the third week in a row where there's a lot of like tricky games.
Oh yeah.
We're getting to that point of the season, I feel like, where
nothing makes sense.
We don't know what we don't know anymore. Backup quarterbacks are out here throwing for hundreds of yards and multiple touchdowns. The Vikings are losing games. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't. I agree. Packers keep winning like crazy ass games, and everything's different, but everything kind of still the same also.
Yeah, there's still some staples going on. Tom Brady's still playing decently well. But yeah, besides that, there's just a lot of chaos going around the league, which makes me a little hesitant about some of these games. So I'm going to be personally betting a little bit smaller amounts, but I have managed to find 4 games that I'm feeling pretty decent about.
Okay.
Starting with tonight's game, we've got the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday Night Football. Hold for applause. I don't think a lot of people are too excited about this game. The Jets are coming off actually the biggest win of the year for them when they beat the Bengals. It was a big upset. Mike White, this backup quarterback, kind of came out of nowhere and put on a show. And the Colts are coming off an incredibly disappointing game. They blew a 14-point lead against the Titans. Carson Wentz had his worst game as a Colt, and a lot of people are just questioning them. This game is currently at a 10-point spread because we're using all lines from DraftKings now since they are our official sponsor. Another plug right there. That one's for free. We got a 10-point spread in the game. The over-under is 45.5. I thought I hated this game. I wasn't even going to touch it when I originally looked at it. I was just going to look at it just to see what the numbers were looking like. But the more I looked into it, the more I did the research, the more and more confidence I have on the Colts. I feel really good about the Colts 10-point spread now.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but let me rattle off some quick numbers for you. In every single aspect of football, the Colts rank higher than the Jets. Every single one. They are a better team in every single way.
Yeah.
I also think Mike White is a fluke.
Oh, yeah. That's no doubt.
He's for sure coming back down to earth. 270 of his 511 yards came after the catch last week.
Right.
And
bad tackling.
14 of his passes went to running backs.
So check down machine.
Yep. And the Colts defense is built to stop the run and stop like running backs.
With Darius Leonard.
Yep, exactly. I think they're going to handle them really well. And it's the first time that the Colts offensive line is expected to be fully healthy for this entire season. So because of that, I'm feeling really confident with the Colts. 57% of bets placed are bet on the Jets right now, but 77% of the money is on the Colts, which means the squares like the Jets, but the sharps like the Colts.
Gotcha.
And if those smart people can figure it out, then I might as well just like ride that wave. It's basically just like seeing what rich people are betting on stocks and then just following that trend. So I'm going with the Colts -10, and I might even check out this under at 45.5.
I like the under. Thursday night unders I like a lot. I hit one a few weeks ago at the Browns game. It just breaks my own rule if I bet on the Colts, the double-digit spread rule that I have. It's very sacred to me.
Yeah.
And you're breaking that sacred rule. And I don't really... I'm
just right in front of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry,
right. Man. But yeah, if it comes down to ball control, Colts can jump to an early lead. There's no way Mike White can bring them back.
We are going to be a cold takes exposed if this goes wrong. We are being very confident against Mike White right now. But I agree. I think they're going to come out with a conservative game plan just because of how that game against the Titans ended. They tried to get a little fancy with some plays, threw some bad picks, and blew the game.
Yeah, so Carson was like throwing in triple coverage.
Yeah, so I think they're going to have him handing off the ball a lot to Jonathan Taylor. Like I said, their offensive line is going to be fully healthy for the first time all season. Quentin Nelson's coming back and all that.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So they're going to have their starting 5. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they'll get off to an early lead. 10-point. I'm afraid of a backdoor cover with the Jets, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
That part scares me a little bit, but I'm going to stay true to my convictions. I'm going to take the Colts -10 because I still believe the Colts are a playoff team. I said it when we were on the Double Team podcast, which I was this week. Check it out if you haven't already. I said the Colts are still a playoff team. I think they still can make some noise in this division, especially now that Derrick Henry's out. The Titans might falter a little bit. And at 3-4, they're nowhere near out of it in the AFC. And they've had all their hardest games already. So I think tonight kicks off a good start to a Colts run.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I'm taking Colts -10.
Okay. Fair enough. Breaking rules, but that's fine.
Are you going to take the Jets +10 or are you just going to stick with the under? And
I like the under a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. I think if it's a big ball possession game for Indianapolis,
yeah,
then I think
at home especially.
Yeah, so they're going to run that clock right away.
Yeah, they're going to just try and get out of there as soon as possible, just like which will be good for all the fans too, just so we don't have to watch this game for that long. Hopefully, this one can be knocked out in like 2.5, 3 hours.
That'd be sick. Clean the apartment after.
Yeah, exactly. I actually cleaned my apartment completely last night, so I have no excuse.
Well, why'd you do that?
Because I'm just gonna have to watch this game.
I'm just gonna sit there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit there, either look at the game or just look at the ceiling.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Ceiling might be more entertaining.
Honestly, yeah.
I got one pick for you. Packers +7.5 versus the Chiefs.
You read my mind. I was going right into that game next.
I like Packers +7.
I love Packers +7. Which actually it's 7.5 right now on DraftKings.
Yep.
And I absolutely love it. So for context earlier, like I mentioned, I was on the Double Team podcast, and originally the Packers spread against the Chiefs was 0, which we all thought was weird. We couldn't figure out a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, about 12 to 18 hours later, it comes out that Aaron Rodgers has COVID. How the hell did Vegas know that?
They're always right. They knew something that nobody else did.
They had to have. That's the only thing, because we were on the podcast absolutely befuddled, absolutely flabbergasted, did not realize what could have possibly made that spread, because we had just watched the Chiefs almost lose to the Giants, and the Packers have come off the biggest win of the year, the Cardinals. So we just didn't understand why the Packers weren't heavily favored in this game.
Yeah, at least 3 points, something.
Yeah, well, now we know why. Aaron Rodgers was getting something shoved up his nose and had his and turned out came back positive. He's got COVID.
Got something shoved up his nose.
Yep. So I actually had already placed a $10 bet on the Packers when the spread was at 0. So it was basically a money line. That one probably won't be the case, which kind of makes me think I should start placing these bets on game day because of COVID. Like I shouldn't be. I've been betting them so early this season just because I want to get like advantage of the early numbers. But this is the first time it's come back to bite me in a COVID case.
Yeah. You got to wait till kickoff or live bet it even. One of the two.
Yeah, I agree. So that one's on my bad. But with that being said, I am going to double down on the Packers with +7.5 just because I still think the Packers are a much better team. And honestly, this might not be the worst case scenario for the Packers long term. If you need to find out if Jordan Love is the guy, what better time to do it than against the worst defense in like league history?
Right. And then this kind of reminds me of when Rodgers filled in for Favre one game.
Yeah.
And what was it, 2007?
I think it was a Thursday night game against the Cowboys.
Yep. He filled in and then he played decent, didn't play bad. So it's going to be definitely like one of those games.
And it gave the Packers the confidence to move off from Favre that offseason because Favre retired later that offseason for the first time.
Yeah. So we'll see Jordan Love. I'm excited to see him.
I think.
Hopefully he sucks.
I still think. Yeah. What are you going to do if the Vikings have to face off against another generational talented quarterback for 2 decades?
It would just be business as usual.
Yeah.
This is. I've been a Vikings fan entire life, and the Packers never had a bad quarterback. So
yeah, Packers always have a good quarterback. Bears always have a good defense, and the Lions always have a good Thanksgiving
They always have
game.
a star that retires early.
Yeah, exactly. Something's never changed in the NFC North.
Yeah.
But yeah, Packers +7.5. The Packers are 7-0 against the spread this season, and the Chiefs are 3-15-1 in the last 19.
Jeez.
The Chiefs have not been covering the spread at all.
And their spreads are always inflated. Like for the past 3 weeks, I've always betted against them, and then I've done.
It's always been over like 7.5.
Yeah,
the past few weeks.
It's always way too inflated.
Yeah, like we keep thinking the Chiefs have had these problems just this season. They've kind of had some problems since around this time last year. I think they were talking on ESPN. It was ever since the Falcons game. The Falcons kind of like laid out a blueprint for how to beat them. You got to just force them to dink and dunk, just bend, don't break defense, and from there it works out for you. Deep. Pretty much, yeah. So I think the Chiefs are going to struggle with that. Devontae Adams is expected to return, which will be huge for Jordan Love. And
the Packers defense played pretty well against a great Cardinals offense, like relatively well, I think. So
yeah, they have the number 9 scoring defense in the NFL. They've only allowed 20.8 points per game.
Yeah, and I guess you could argue the Cardinals offense is better than the Chiefs offense.
Right now, I would definitely say so.
So, I mean, 7 points, I think that's a layup, 7.5 points.
I agree. Both offenses also rank outside the top 8 in points per game, which has me leaning towards the under at 47.5. I feel pretty good about that under. I think this is like a 24-20 type game.
Mm-hmm.
I still do think the Chiefs find a way to win just because I can't imagine they're going to continue to struggle this much. And if you can't beat a Packers team without their MVP quarterback, then you're just not a playoff team probably, especially at home.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs just have to cut down on the turnovers, have to cut down on the penalties. They say it every week, but eventually they just have to figure it out and do it.
Yeah, they need help on defense.
Yeah, definitely. They're allowing 6.43 yards per play on defense, which is the most in the NFL. It's so bad.
So every 2 plays is over a first down.
Yeah, exactly. Teams aren't seeing third downs against them.
Yeah.
So, I expect the Packers to come out and run the ball a lot with Jordan Love, control the clock. I think that again will help towards the under.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think the Chiefs, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs lose. I could still see it happening. But I'm taking Packers plus 7.5, and I also think I'm gonna take that under as well.
I don't hate that. I bet you hope the Packers win because you get that early money line early.
That would be really nice. I would definitely learn my lesson from that one.
So you're never gonna early bet in the week again?
I mean, I never say never. You never know what'll happen, but I will try and exercise patience a lot more. My problem is I always just forget come Sunday morning. I'm usually waking up pretty late and disheveled because of just how my Friday and Saturdays go. Then this guy parties, dude. I freaking rage. So that's why I like to get my bets in early in the week. And then I also just take advantage of those early lines and all that. But this is, like I said, this is the first time it's actually come back to bite me.
Have you ever bet early in the week and then bet later in the week the same game, but you did the opposite result?
I have, yeah.
I fucking hate when that happens.
I've completely changed my mind throughout the week before.
Yeah.
So I've definitely done that. I'm definitely not a man of my convictions too much when it comes to gambling.
And then you just even out. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing happens. So, Packers plus 7.5. I think we both agree, and then the under. So we're 2-0 and agreeing so far.
You want to go next? Do you have a game or no?
Yeah, just a small little one. I don't have too much to back it up, but it's just a game that I really feel good about. I think it's probably my free cheese of the week, but Chargers -2 over the Eagles.
I looked at that one. I like that one.
Yeah, the Eagles are the most week-to-week NFL team
ever.
Ever. They're getting throttled by the Raiders, and then they'll go and just pound the Lions. I mean, granted, you probably should beat the Lions.
Oh yeah. Side note: I also did money line on the Lions last week, and I apologize to everybody.
Yeah. You did that on 2 podcasts.
I know.
So
I thought it was their week last week. The Lions.
I think I had been doing that for the previous 2-3 weeks. So I'm sworn off betting the Lions this year. So it's just something I'm not going to try and do anymore. It just doesn't seem viable as a financial option.
Right.
So I'm staying away from the Lions. I do enjoy the admirable effort. I do enjoy that you are trying to give them a chance.
Right.
Because they do have the makeup to do something, you would think.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Campbell, they've had close games all year.
Yeah. This is the first time they've really been blown out.
Just to get shit pounded by 35 points.
By the Eagles.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah. It's out of nowhere. So I think the Eagles for sure come back down to earth. I'm taking the Chargers -2. I think the Eagles are in a full rebuild at this point. They just don't know it.
Yeah. Either Jalen Hurts has been inconsistent. Their offensive line's good.
That's about it, though.
I think their coach. I don't even know their coach's name.
Nick Sirianni. You didn't know it last week either. I don't think.
I always forget his name.
Nick Sirianni is just offended as he listens to this podcast right now.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's listening. But yeah, I like the Chargers a lot. Bounce back game for them. They've slowed down a little bit, the Chargers, but I think this is the week where they.
The one thing that does concern me about it is the Chargers' run defense is so bad. So if the Eagles can come out and pound the ball with Byron Scott, which I hope they do because I had to pick him up in both my leagues where I had Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to see the Eagles run the ball a good amount, but I still feel like the Chargers will win this game. It's in Philadelphia, but 2 points seems like a gimme.
Is it a noon game?
It is.
I changed everything I said.
Really?
Yeah.
Completely?
LA has to travel all the way to Philadelphia, and it's a noon game. That never works out.
Over the Eagles, though?
Yeah, I think the Eagles will win now.
Eagles? What?
Yeah, I'm changing my pick completely.
All it took is a time. All it took is,
That's a huge thing.
if it's a 4 p.m. game, that doesn't change anything.
It's got to be a noon. If it's a noon game, it changes everything.
You think professional athletes can't function at 10 a.m. their standard time?
Yes, I do.
You think they're that much creatures of habit?
The Eagles have the advantage. They've
been in the Eastern time zone.
They don't yeah. So
I gotta imagine a pro NFL player can wake up a little earlier and still function against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the time zone thing's a little overrated.
If I'm messed up from 1 hour time zone change, imagine a 4 hour time zone change for an NFL athlete.
Jerrod, you're not an NFL athlete. I think they're built a little different than us.
No, I'm built different. They're built the same.
Oh, all right. Well, so Jerrod, once again, proving that conviction means nothing in gambling and completely flipping his pick just because of a 3 hour time difference. That is ridiculous. All right. So did you have another one?
Yeah. This is my fuck it, we ball. Vikings +6 versus Ravens.
God damn it, Jerrod.
I really have no reason for betting this.
Well, because their backs against the walls.
Their backs are against the walls. And Zimmer always plays well when his back is against the wall too.
Jerrod, it's over. The season's over.
Yeah, this is my fuck it, we ball pick.
I mean, I respect the loyalty, but there is nothing on paper that says the Vikings will do anything this game. I'm leaning towards Zimmer gets fired mid-season. The more I think about it.
Do you think he gets fired after this game or no?
No, they'll give him, I think, this month or whatever. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I'm sure there's maybe after a loss to the Packers or something like that, he'll lose. But Thielen threw him under the bus.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And then his agent was throwing him under the bus too.
Yeah, he's losing the locker room.
Yeah.
And that's the first sign. I think Spielman probably goes too.
I hope not. He's a good.
You like Spielman?
I like him. He's better. He's I don't know what other GM they're going to get other than Spielman.
Well, I don't know the list of available GMs, so I can't really argue that. But Spielman is just so safe. He never does anything aggressive. He always trades back in the draft just to get a corner. He never gets a big trade. They always talk about, oh, we almost got Justin Fields. Oh, we almost pulled off this trade. But this isn't horseshoes. This is hand grenades.
That's right. I forget about that.
Yeah. I just think we talked about it on the Double Team podcast, but the whole Vikings organization, they have all the talent. They have all the pieces in place. They just don't have the right mindset. They've adapted kind of the Midwest ethos of just let's wait and see. Let's do all the right, quote unquote, right things. And eventually good things will happen. But that's just not what works in the NFL anymore. You have to be aggressive. You have to be willing to go all in, especially when you have a roster that's built to win now. And that's just not Zimmer's mentality. Zimmer kind of coaches like a high school coach.
Yeah. Is there any coaches that you have in mind for the Vikings? A head coach?
I like Brian Dable from the Bills, their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a hot guy. I think Eric Bieniemy will probably be up there.
Bring him home.
Is he from Minnesota?
He used to be a running backs coach when Adrian Peterson was a rookie.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I like Joe Brady from the Panthers.
I do too.
The offensive coordinator.
Because then you got Justin Jefferson there, and that would be a good fit.
Yeah. So
from when he was in
there's
LSU.
options. I just think in today's NFL, I think you have to go offense unless you just have a superstar defensive coordinator, which Zimmer is. Zimmer is still a really good defensive coach. But I just think I think after a while, if you have the same coach and you're not seeing real results, after a while, the message that coach has in the locker room starts to wear thin.
Especially after 7-8 years it's been with Zimmer.
Yeah, I think he's been there since 2013.
Yeah, 14, something like that.
Yeah, and I think they just haven't broken through that ceiling. They never beat great teams. They pound on bad teams. They stay competitive with decent teams. Minnesota, exactly. But they're yet to have a signature win that doesn't involve a fluke,
right?
AKA the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
so you'd take Ravens -6?
Yes.
In this game, yeah.
I don't think I will touch it personally, just because I think the Vikings have played close games. And the Ravens are coming off a bye, so they're going to be, I think, a little rusty at first. So I'm not going to touch the game, but if I were, I would take Ravens -6.
Okay.
Just because I don't see any logical reason to bet the Vikings, but I also don't bleed purple and gold like you do.
Backs against the wall.
Backs against the wall. Desperate teams. It's like It's like when you're trying to corner a feral animal. see what'll happen.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, they'll lose by a field goal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then my last game on the slate is the Sunday night game. We've got the Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Rams. Two teams that were in the news on Monday for very different reasons.
Yes.
The Rams got an influx of hope because they traded for Von Miller. And the Titans lost a good amount of their hope because their best player went down probably until the playoffs.
Yeah, he's got a bad foot.
He does. So the Rams are favored by 7.5 points. It opened up at 4.5, but obviously all the news came out, so it moved to 7.5. But with that being said, I still really like the Titans in this spot. Only because I think Mike Vrabel is a really good coach, and he usually has the boys like ready to go.
Yeah, especially on defense.
And especially for big games, like primetime games, the Titans always play well.
What's the over/under for this?
Over/under is 54, and I'm leaning the over.
I'm leaning under.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the Titans' offense is so much better than we give him credit for. I think Tannehill's a better quarterback than we give him credit for.
Yeah, but now he's got to really perform now without Derrick Henry. There's be less people in the box and everything.
Do you know who they signed though this week?
Oh yeah, that's right.
They signed all day.
I take back everything I said.
Adrian Peterson. So the big concern for the Rams, I think, is that they're coming off a super easy stretch. They've just played the Giants, the Lions, and the Texans, beat them all pretty easily. So you got to imagine they're due for a come down game. And I think it'll happen against the Titans. I still think the Rams will win this game, but Titans plus 7.5. That's just too. I think giving the Titans more than a touchdown is pretty good odds right there. The Rams are 5-3 against the spread, but only 2 of those against the spread wins have been when they're favored by more than a touchdown. Okay. They're usually like winning these close games, like beating the spread in just these close games. So it is the Jeff Fisher Bowl, so that has to be taken into account. Yeah. Jeff Fisher coached for both of these teams.
Super Bowl rematch.
It is a Super Bowl rematch from like when we were 2 years old.
It's been like 1990.
I think it was 99, wasn't it?
Yep. Greatest show on turf.
It was.
Steve McNair.
It's greatest show on turf, and now we've got the greatest show by the surf in LA. Little play on words there, so that's fun.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, please do. I want to use it later. So I think Titans plus 7.5. I joked about Adrian Peterson. I don't think he makes that big of an impact on this game. I think he'll be like the third down running back or something like that.
Especially during a 1 week signing. Like he won't be like ready to go.
Physically, no. Mentally, I'm sure he'll be ready.
Right.
But physically, I can't imagine. But maybe he's a goal line running back. He might be able to do some damage there. I'm sure he's still like a physical freak of nature. We haven't seen him since like week 3 of last year when he was on the Lions.
That's right.
It's been a long time.
So how many teams has he played for now?
Vikings, Saints, brief. He was on the Saints like for 2 weeks.
That's right.
And then he got cut after week 1, then Washington, then Detroit. I don't think I'm missing anyone.
And then now Titans.
Yep, and now the Titans. So 5 teams. Good for him for still playing. I think he's like, 15 years into his career?
2007. 14.
So yeah, he's for a running back, that's pretty incredible, especially considering he tore his ACL and has had a lot of injuries to deal with there. So good for you, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Hopefully your spirit is enough to guide the Titans to plus 7.5.
Because that's all you care about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all happy for your career and stuff, but my
plus 7 though.
Yeah, my small bet matters a lot more. What do you think about this game?
I like the under a lot. I think Vrabel will have a good game plan against the Rams offense.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the Titans scoring more than 3 touchdowns this game.
I mean, that defense is pretty formidable now with Von Miller as well.
Exactly.
They have literally 3 of the best players at their position on that team.
And 54 is a pretty high number. So
it is, but the Titans have been doing pretty well against the over this year. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but they've hit the over quite often.
Because of Derrick Henry, though, too. That's another reason.
Yeah, I suppose so. But A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are no slouches.
Right. Yeah, I just think the defense is going to change without Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
they're going to have to change their complete offensive philosophy.
And if they're going to be a good offense again, it's going to take them a couple weeks to adjust without Derrick Henry. So yeah. I'm going to stay away from the spread, but I like the under at 54.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Do you have any other games, or are we ready to wrap this thing up?
I think I'm good. I got Bengals minus 2.5
against the Browns.
The Browns just looked like dog shit last week.
Yeah, we saw it live in person, and you did not like what you saw out of Cleveland.
Jarvis Landry sucks.
He doesn't suck. He had a bad game.
He dropped when he fumbled, or he dropped 2 big passes.
Speaking as a former wide receiver, not to pull out the high school football card, but it's a lot harder to catch that football than it looks.
Yeah, but he's also a pro athlete.
He is, but you were also bragging that you could handle a time difference better than these guys.
That's sleep, not played.
That's true. So you think the Browns completely suck and that Jarvis Landry's a scrub?
Yeah, and then bounce back game for the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I am also kind of out on the Browns. 2.5 points is a weird one because it's very much just betting on a field goal to win it at the end.
So would you buy a half point for the Bengals?
I think I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd be a lot more confident in that. But I think if I bought a half point, I would maybe do it on the Browns side. But it could be a bounce back game for the Browns. They lost too.
It's in Cincinnati.
It is in Cincinnati, but is that much of a home field advantage? Are people afraid to go play in Cincinnati?
No.
They don't even have an indoor practice facility.
Oh, yeah. Don't they play on turf too?
Yeah. I think Cincinnati. Our friend Sir Yacht will be there. So if you're there, have a look out for Waldo. But that one's a weird one. AFC North is so weird to predict this year. The two teams we thought were going to be good, like the Browns and the Steelers, are not. And then the Bengals and Ravens are. So it's a weird one. I still don't know how I feel about the Bengals completely. Yeah. I have yet to bet on them this year, I think. I've kind of stayed away from all of their games.
I think their record's been inflated for the last 3 weeks. Beating number 1 seed in the AFC. There's no way. They don't play like a number 1 seed at all.
No, and I think if once you got them into the playoffs, they would be exposed pretty quickly by a Buffalo or a Baltimore or something like that.
Yeah.
Plus, they got a lot of hard games coming down the stretch here, so we'll see if they're able to hold on to that number 1 spot. I can't imagine they will, but it'll be interesting to watch. I think in that game, the more I'm talking about it, the more I would lean. I would buy half a point and go Cleveland at 3.
Okay.
3 points.
Well, we're against each other on that one.
Oh, I hate when we fight like this.
I know. Can't wait to be right.
We'll see.
I'm writing you down.
All right, perfect. You got anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, perfect. Well, good luck.
Surprise guest.
Tyler was actually here the entire time just because he wanted to hear my take on the Vikings, I think.
No, I did hear that. Jerrod, you're delusional.
What do you
We're fucked.
You think it's over for
It's
him?
over. The next stretch, we've got Ravens, Chargers, Packers.
Backs against the wall. Maybe
We could potentially lose 4 in a row. Vikings are done.
Yeah, season's over.
We might go 500.
Do you think Zimmer's out of there?
I think so.
Do you want Zimmer out of there?
I want him out of the head coaching role.
Keep him as a D
Do you think if he would do that, that would be amazing? He won't, but that would be great. I would love to have him stay as a DC, but that's not going to happen. I actually have Matt, you did a video recently that you will take $5 bets on anything.
I did.
I have one for you.
Ooh, all right.
A long one.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, we literally talked about this earlier before you came in here. We were talking about daily fantasy.
They are on a roll, baby.
They are
5-3. They're crushing it. They delivered the Warriors their only loss this year.
So what is?
Oh, they're gonna win the NBA championship.
Win the NBA championship.
$5. You and me. No lines necessary.
Okay, I will gladly take that.
Okay.
$5. All right.
Yeah, you should probably pick a team too, though. Sweeten the pot. I'll double or nothing it if you get your team.
Okay, I'll take the Bucks.
All right.
Perfect.
You're on.
All right, so everyone stay tuned for that, for the Memphis Grizzlies Milwaukee Bucks NBA Finals.
I'll be back to talk shit in 3 weeks.
In 3, you think you think we'll just know
I'll
by
just
then?
periodically pop in to talk shit.
All right.
Yeah, it's like my tri-weekly appearances to come and talk shit to you about Memphis.
All right, I love it. We were actually saying earlier, if Memphis were to win the finals, my resignation would come that same day. I would not be able to talk to you if you were able to call that correctly.
Well, I'm an elite basketball mind, so I'll leave you with that. Goodbye, Matt.
Goodbye, Tyler. And goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck this weekend with all your bets. Hope everything hits. And as always, remember, it is not a loss. It is a down payment on future success.